That's right. The police will generally side with the woman, and the courts will generally side with the woman. And like you said about these restraining orders, no, it is often gender significant. The person in the audience here made a good point. You can speak in a minute if you want. If you don't want to ask a question, you can speak in a minute. But he made a good point about these restraining orders. Restraining orders are often used as a sort of an attack weapon, where instead of the person having to attack the other person, they get the police to fight the battles for them and lock someone out of their own home. And you get people like Ken Lay, the police chief, who's about to resign. He's often speaking about domestic violence as a men's issue. So you're saying I'm generalising, but Ken Lay, the chief policeman, right? He doesn't say domestic violence is a man and women issue. No, he says it's a men's issue, and men need to take responsibility. Well, I'm no more responsible for men's violence than I am for men's bank robbers or men's doing burnouts in cars. You know what I mean? The police chief doesn't say I have to make a stand against people driving their cars too fast, or I have to make a stand against people robbing banks. But somehow men are meant to be responsible for other men committing violence. You know, it's nothing to do with me. It's not me doing it. So don't try and tarnish all men and say all men need to step up or all men need to do this. I do know what I'm talking about, mate. I do very much. It's not speculating, mate. I just told you what happened. I'm talking based on evidence. It's based on evidence and observations.
And you're a generator, mate. That's all you are, mate.
I'm not a speculator, mate. I'm an observer and I'm an articulator.
Facts, you don't know reality.
I don't need it, man. You're the one drinking wine, man. It seems like you're self-medicating. Well, you're self-medicating. So what are you talking about? I should medicate. You're self-medicating. Huh? What's that? No, it's not at all, man. So if we can get back to on topic, yeah, it's just that many of the police policies and the applications of the laws, as well as the courts and the politicians, the way they target groups and the way they fund certain groups, it is generally often in a the woman is always the victim and the man is always the perpetrator when there's a situation where one is accusing another, you know. So the woman accusing the man of rape, they sort of side with the woman, keep her name private, and the guy's name is dragged through the mud. Or in the case of the domestic violence order, the man is removed from the home, and then he has to go to court. Maybe after 3 weeks of not, you know, going back to his house, then okay, well, you've proven yourself to be safe, even though he hadn't proven himself to be dangerous in the first place, you know. And then, you know, some people watch the news, some people hit the bottle. You know, it's your choice, man. It's your choice.
Both sides of the fence, no reason for any of that.
And I think it's good that Ken Lay is finally going, because he was proving himself to be biased in his application of this of laws and policy about domestic violence, you know, making it sound like a men's issue. Even in the last few days, the Tasmanian woodchopper, I forget his name, but this famous competitive woodchopper from Tasmania, has come out and say men need to man up about domestic violence. Well, I don't need to man up for domestic violence. I've got nothing to do with it, you know. I don't commit domestic violence. Like, that's like saying I need to man up against drugs if his son's a drug addict. You know, it's nothing to do with me. And this sort of projection of blame onto people who are part of a group or part of the 50% of the population because you're men, it's ridiculous. Like, the media and the left always jump on when people criticise Muslims and say, oh, don't tarnish all Muslims because of a few. Yet, generally, it seems okay to tarnish all men because of a few violent men, you know what I mean? So, would you like to have a talk, mate?